At Quinnipiac, we see more than a campus. We see a community built to ignite passions. We see more than a degree. We see the careers of tomorrow. We see more than a student. We see someone destined to make an impact.
Define yourself. Will you impact the future? Will you lead the pack? Will you engage the world? Will you find the cure? Will you be the hope? So, will you? Come see how St. John students are changing the world every day. Visit us today.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends and family beyond the binary, good evening and welcome to EGF Valorant. My name is Warren Jungle God Hammond, and tonight I am joined on the mic by Worstcast. How are you doing, my friend?
Doing great. Been loving the matches so far. Getting to see more of them today. Starting it out with my block with you here with Quinnipiac versus Siena. Neither of these teams have found success yet in this group stage. One of them has to. There's no draws in Valorant, so one of these teams has to walk away with a win in the group stage. But it's kind of both these teams are kind of struggling against the top two dogs right now, which is Wichita State and St. John's University, who we just had an amazing match between those two on Split with a 13-11 win for Wichita. So it's kind of cemented them at the top of the group. Obviously, it's double round robin. Not every map it matches on stream, but as it's breaking out so far, it looks like those two teams are just a bit too far away and ahead of Siena and Quinnipiac for those two to make it out, because it is only top two to come out.
Exactly. Now, we are going to be starting things off tonight between these two on Haven. So, very, very offensive map, right? Or rather, a more offensive-sided map, right? With these three spike sites, we're likely going to see a much higher score, at least on the attacker side, or it's possible, right? So I'm going to be curious to see, how these two teams construct their, not their rosters, but the agents that they're going to be loading out with tonight, Worst.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this does shape up, what these teams are going towards. I've seen a lot of collegiate teams currently, at least in the prelims so far, are not like behind the meta per se, but they have like comfort picks that are out of the meta or like aren't typically seen as meta, quote unquote. But at this level of play, we're seeing a lot of Reyna run around with Wichita State and St. John's, the top two teams in this group. And it's because those two players are just extremely good at the Reyna, and it allows them to play this self-serving style for teams that play a very DME style. So it is kind of playing to what your strengths are as a team and isn't strictly the meta, quote unquote. But as we look at these two teams go in, big difference here is two smokers versus one here. Just the Brimstone versus the Viper and the Omen. Viper, not bad on this map, but not really seen over other agents.
You're right. It definitely not bad. Not typical, I think, is another very fair way to describe it. And the double smoker is interesting as well. And I want to talk about like some of the differences between the two, or actually the three controllers that we're seeing on the, in this loadout, right? And one of the big keys, I think, is Osayu on the Brim, right? If they're set up on B site, they can smoke A, B, and C from wherever they are, right? If you're going to run an Omen, if you're going to run a Viper, you're not going to have quite that same amount of flexibility. So it makes sense to me that if they're not running the Brim on the side of Quinnipiac, that they are going to have to go with a double smoker here. It is going to give them a bit of an advantage on defense too, I think.
Yeah, and we're going to see how that plays out in the pistol round. It's going to be both teams kind of trading out these recon darts. Shock dart might be massive here. A lot of damage. Look at that top right, a lot of health bars. Even finding the pick. Loco goes crazy right there with the shotguns and really wins the round for them in a lot of ways. Just the amount of damage and raw disruption provided.
Oh yeah, I mean that was such a tremendous amount of it really, like, if this were Overwatch, I would be talking about cleave damage at this point, right? You know, it's almost watching like a Winston, you know, cleave through or Reinhardt, but just so much damage went into so many of the agents here that it was just easy cleanup for everybody.
Feeling when two Overwatch casters cast Valorant, instantly you have the cleave coming out and the ingredients like, yeah, what does that mean? Oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, guys. Oh, it's just a little lingo there, but we're gonna try and see how these teams want to kind of make their way into this half. Now that that's been accomplished here for Siena College, a really strong round for them. It looks like they're going to go aggressive here. They're not afraid of the potential classics that are coming out. There could be a force buy. It's very rare, but could be. But look at this trap play. They have it on every side, and pops you, takes him out. That's what you do when you don't respect the classics. You get a classic in your face, and not much you can do at that point.
No, there's not. But there's a lot that's being done on C site right now, especially with OCU going down right now. Another pick comes in favor of Quinnipiac, now up by 1. It's going to be evened out though, and tell you what, this pistol round actually going really well for Quinnipiac at the moment. We are going to see a spike planted as well. It's going to be up to She Hurt Me to try to push in here, but they've got this nice one-way that Omen put up. That's not going to let it happen. And look at that thrifty round coming in for Quinnipiac.
Yeah, and that name right there is basically, tell me you're a duelist player without telling me you're a duelist player. Just showing off that name right there. We all know it. We've all seen it. It is what it is. As we're going to come in here, Quinnipiac winning the second round just because of the lack of respect given for the pistols that can come out for Siena College. So, from Siena College, because, like, you really just have to play together. I mean, you just one man just walk into angles, walk into set trap plays. Like, that's the kind of stuff that's going to just lose you games. And right now, this could devastate their economy. This will devastate their economy completely. They're going to force buy here, but, I mean, that's just a mistake you can't afford to make.
Right, this has to be a round win for them, right? Otherwise, they, I think have really shot themselves in the foot with this buy. We're going to see a couple shots come out. Low-key able to find one. Gonna throw out the paint shells, but pop in there a little bit too quick for them to reload. We're going to see a rotation come out now. They've decided to just get out of Dodge, move out of A site.
Yeah. Giving up a lot here and going back and forth in the round score potentially. Rounds you should win, you don't win. That's sometimes how it is.
Right, it is.
It's just sometimes how it is, but right now we're kind of seeing them just consolidate themselves into a lobby. Where's the burst play going to come out? Is it going to be a long? Is it going to be a short? Looks like they're just going to be walking a split right now. Nope, it's going to be just marching their way down a long. I like this more, especially into closer range guns, because it's harder to trade in those close corridors of a short. A lot easier when it's these more open areas of the entire A site.
Yeah, it really is. And that's what She Hurt Me is looking for from that high ground, right? They're looking for a nice, easy pick right here. Loco going to be the one that picks it up, pops you out of the equation. Now, it's just Omen, Invasive Karma trying to make things work, but they've got 13 seconds. Best they can hope to do is maybe hurt the econ a little bit of Siena's, but that is not going to come to fruition.
Yeah, and now it is just kind of a question of, does this continue? Does this back and forth nature continue of not respecting certain angles, not respecting certain guns to duel? I mean, right there it was just a nice shot from the sheriff, but also you're just wide swinging on people and you don't have follow-up. You don't have a trade coming through. You don't have utility set up to allow you to do so. You have flash that entire round and you never made a play to kind of clear angles with it. So I think that's one of the biggest parts that might just start slowing these teams down, is if they aren't going to be making these consolidated teamwork plays for map control with utility. I think they might just end up running into each other over and over again.
Right. So far this has really been won by the guns, right? We haven't really seen the plant come in, right, at this point. So both these teams playing very aggressively. They're out for blood. Spike is down again. It's just gonna be Sova. Couple seeing if they can come away with this. Oh, they're gonna lurk here and spawn. Hurt somebody right there. The swing comes in and She Hurt Me is good for it. That's the flawless round for Siena.
And now we have up 3-1. They finally broke the back and forth nature of this game. And now we're going to try to see if they can break the game wide open from there. After kind of salvaging, I'm going to say salvaging the first part of this half, because that really could have been a spiral out of control situation, and it could have snowballed into a much worse half for them. But already kind of in a position to make this defensive half their own, and it kind of requires here. Quinnipiac, do you break the cycle? Do you win this round here and start to regain your economy, or does your economy get broken again, and then you have to kind of rely on them winning a round, or maybe a thrifty sometime, or have to wait 2 whole rounds? I mean, what is that from She Hurt Me?
Oh my gosh, they're able to swing out, and look at the follow-up from Low-Key. Low-Key popping off right now. Loco's able to find one as well. Now it's just gonna be Sniper Bam in spawn once again. And I've got a flashbacks to what we just saw, right? A moment ago. It's gonna be Siena College now going up by 3.
Yeah, and this ultra-aggressive play from Siena College is helping them in these situations, but again, in other situations where they just walk into, let's say, a classic in your face, for example, right? And they lose the round off of that kind of stuff. Like, that has been helping and hurting them, but it's a style that Quinnipiac obviously wasn't ready to respond to in that round, but how do they change it up? Do they play more passive? Do they instead decide to go aggressive themselves? Because if they know that they want to go aggressive on certain sides of the map, particularly right now, made an A, well, do they just go fast onto C to push the fact that there's probably going to be very little to help them out? That's one option of doing it. The other way is just making a trap play and just kind of playing to contain them on A lobby. But they're doing none of that. They're doing neither.
No, they're just kind of grouping up right around B, as a matter of fact. It's going to be Low-Key in with a couple of picks. Knives are out. Pop's able to get a pick with one of those. Quinnipiac down to just 2. Siena looking really good right now. They're gonna take another round. And, you mentioned first, one of the options is Quinnipiac could just try and play it a little bit faster. They could essentially play it slower, looking for picks as Siena College tries to push aggressively on defense. And personally, I think that's the way to go, especially considering the kind of agents that you're running right now. You've got information, right? But the only flash that you have is from Invasive Karma as well. So I think that you want to hold on to that flash, right? You don't want to use it necessarily as one of your first initiations. You want to lurk, you want to wait, you want to play default, and you want to play defensively. That's my take on this situation right now for Quinnipiac. Because Siena playing so aggressively right now on defense, and especially considering that we're on Haven, I think that Siena or Quinnipiac just play for mistakes. Play for Siena to make mistakes. Pango gotta be the first down, though. Quinnipiac already at a 2-player disadvantage. And Siena, they flip the script, right? They don't push hard that time. They play it a little bit slower. We're going to see Brim Smokes come out, too, on C. As the push is coming in, they're firing through them. OCU gonna be taken out by Sniper Bam. Excellent pick there coming in for Quinnipiac. Now, with just a 1-player disadvantage, the plant will come in on the C side. Let's see if they can translate this into a round win versus.
I mean, they're just bogged down here with all the slows coming through. They have to deal with the chamber as well, but Invasive Karma, they do a really nice job of it. And that's another round for them. But you saw, again, how aggressive it was for Siena College, but they kind of outpaced them, got on the site before the flanks came in, and then trying to contain the flanks afterwards. I think that's one of the options I said earlier that you can do. You get onto the site fast enough, you execute there, and then they kind of get stuck right there. Like, they're 3 flanking, but they're 3 flanking from the same position. It's just like any other retake. It's just now you have to turn around and look at your C-long, and that's even better for you to kind of defend in a lot of ways than a garage or a spawn play. So really helped them out in that round, but does that continue? Like, I want to kind of see these plays continue against Quinnipiac, because I mean, they're letting off, actually they're kind of seeing the aggression was punished and they're letting off the gas pedal.
Yeah, they are quite a bit. But the gas pedal going to be pushed pretty hard on A right now, Worstcast. They have decided to put all their eggs in that basket. Not going to be any default coming in this time around. We're going to see a quick rotation come out from several of the members, too, of Siena College to match. Showstopper comes out, misses, but the follow-up is there onto Guppel. Paint canisters thrown, paint shells thrown out as well. They peek one too many times. Rody Rupp takes them out, but it's going to be low with an Odin coming up with some big plays to put Quinnipiac on life support right here on this round. Ooh, swing comes in, invasive karma. Yeah, finds one. They go for the TB. She heard me, reads it, and gets the pick.
No, and they were just not expecting that, but still, it ends up. They're still going to win out the round. They're still in a very strong position here for Siena College. And I think this is kind of what we've seen from them in the past in previous prelims for both these teams. But still, plenty of time for Quinnipiac to get back into it. I think the early aggression really shocked them and then, again, shocked their economy in a lot of ways because they haven't been able to really financially recover from this it's going to be hard for them to. They're going to have to string together a couple rounds to do so. They can't even go 1 for 1 because when you just win one round and then lose the next, like, you've not only just reset your loss bonus, you've then just lost the next round and you've made like no money off of that. And now OC, which I mean, with the Brimstone having this, I don't know if your Brimstone typically wants this op.
Right. I don't think they do. It's a little atypical, but you know what? If you've got the aim and you can make it work, then great. Got to be a nice pair of kills coming in. I like that paint shell coming out from Loki to smoke out and, as it were, where that defender was. Excellent round going the way of Siena once again.
Yeah, and something about that that operator play, I kind of say, I don't like playing right boxes there if you're agent with no escape, basically. No TP, no dismiss, no jet dash, that kind of stuff.
Right.
I would much rather see it in the hands of one of those agents, but still, like you said, or that just play left side boxes or like play left behind big box. Yeah, play left behind big box and then you can swing back behind it. You can get wallbang, but it's a lot safer than having to cross the actual no man's land. That is kind of the split between C and I mean, again, aggression. They get kind of boomed by it. They're not ready for it.
No, they're not. Gupple was this time. They're going to be able to get She Heard Me out of the equation. Loki now throwing out their boom, but missed the aim just a little bit. In fact, they're going to forget to check one corner, and that's going to be a fatal mistake for them right there. OCU using their orbital strike to clear a little bit of space, push Quinnipiac back into spawn, as a matter of fact. They're moving backwards right now. They need to make some kind of a big change here, but Omen with a nice from the shadows onto Seaside will get the plant out, but Popsicle, what are they gonna do here? Nothing.
They're gonna get taken out. They have the flank, and that was the correct decision. Deal with the jet and then move on to retake. Now there's actually a pretty good idea from Invasive if they really committed to it. Try to take out potentially a rotator from spawn and then turn their attention back to Seaside, but not deciding on any which way, and instead it's going to result in 3 different angles to try and check and clear and not being able to accomplish any one of them. And now it's a dire situation for Quinnipiac right there, now down 8-2 on defensive side. Haven, just compositionally, I think their comp is better on defense, but I don't think that'll kind of get them out of potentially a 10-2 hole. And right now, it's just like they're taking early duels. They're not really setting up trap plays with utility. And I think this is one of the biggest things I've seen with a lot of collegiate teams that are in the like middle tier, middle to lower tier, even the higher tier collegiate teams. I'm talking about you, Wichita State. Sometimes you rascals, you little rascals. They don't make utility plays to try and counter out enemy aggression or count out enemy positions. They try to say, just win the duel next time. Like a lot of the mentality just becomes, I'll just dry peek it, think I know where they are, and then hope I hit the shot. Like a lot of times, I love to see heavy util comps, flash comps, heavy flash comps, because it allows you to just mitigate a player that's on fire a lot of time. If I can just throw a bunch of utility into a player, into a site, and just mitigate the fact that they've been shutting me down, that's amazing. I don't want to have to rely on aim, which can be pretty inconsistent.
Yeah, especially in a game like Valorant, right? You know, and right now, you know, the gunplay, though, the gunplay is what's winning Siena the vast majority of these fights, right? And we just saw it play out once again, right? The gunplay and the aggression. Quinnipiac, they're still not responding to it. They're still not ready for it. And we're about ready to switch sides, and it's already 8-2.
Now it's like the adaptations you could make aren't applicable anymore, because now you're swapping the defense side, they're swapping the attack side. They already want to be aggressive on that attack side, so there's not a lot you can do to switch it up. But like, what I'm trying to say is, what's for Siena? This kind of aggression, this like, I'm just gonna raw aim diff you a lot of the time. It ends up being, well, what happens when you go up a team that's gonna raw aim diff you?
Right.
You don't have the util play. That's what happens when they go up against St. John, when they go up against Wichita State. They have this game plan that works in Quinnipiac because their players are good enough to execute it in terms of just aim diffing. But right here, you're just like, I'm gonna walk forward into their spawn, try to just aim duel them and win. That's not always gonna work, or you're going up against a team with better mechanics.
Right, and you know when that happens, then what's Plan B, right? There is none, exactly, right? Because you don't have that util that you need and that you want, and that would be such a boon for you. It's gonna be a 3v3 this time around. Big push coming up onto C site. Brim drops back for the spike, but they're just gonna wait a moment to see what's going to happen. Big rotation coming in now as well from Siena, but I mean, look at how much health, right, Sova has for Siena right now. Nice shot comes in. That's gonna clear things out. Popsia doing a fantastic job. 1v1 now. OCU, they're still they're going back through spawn right now. They don't know that somebody is down main, that this chamber is looking for them. 30 seconds left to go. OCU's gonna have to start making a move right here. We've got a jump peek coming in from Sniper Boom, and oh my god, look at the timing right there of when each of these players is peeking. They just missed each other. That's going to allow Chamber to get a little bit more room. And we're going to be able to pick up the spike now, going through, looking for a plant on the B. They've got 10 seconds left to go. Plant is coming in. Does OCU get the push in? Oh, it's gonna be the pick from Sniper Boom, and that's going to give us a 9-3 half worst.
Yeah, and I think one of those plays where they went super aggressive into spawn, but split up. They weren't even together when they did it. They were just kind of sending it one by one by one. And I think a lot of the time you would be like, okay, well, if I have a Sky that's like flashing me in, or if I have a Breach just like stunning flashing for me in, right? It just doesn't make a lot of sense, because have you watched Chinese Valorant, Juggle God?
You know what? I have not watched.
Well, that's because they just got the guy. They just got the game. They just got the game. Okay, they was kind of like banned, or it wasn't available in the region for a very long time. Okay, so they just got the game, and you watch their tournaments, and you see the craziest Jet players you've ever seen in your life, but they have no brain for the game, and it is like watching that a lot of the time, where like they will just run at people and just kill them with knives, like 5K with knives, but like there wasn't really a lot of planning or thought put into it. So that's how is.
It's like you were saying. It was kind of that. I don't necessarily want to say shallow thought, right? I feel like there's a better word here for it. But one-dimensional. One-dimensional is very good. I like that one-dimensional thought process that you've kind of been talking about, right? Where it's like just click heads or head, right? We're gonna see a lot of heads getting clicked though by Quinnipiac. They've got a little bit of an advantage here right now. One more player left. It's gonna be this Raze trying to make something happen for it, but Quinnipiac gonna come through with the defuse and bring us to 9-4.
Yeah, and we're gonna try and see how it is going to look for this next round, as Quinnipiac finally, like, they won the pistol. Like, obviously for Siena, they kind of wandered into the enemy team, right? So they kind of lost that round, but typically Quinnipiac should be in the driver's seat for this one, especially with, I believe She Hurt Me is not in the lobby anymore. And for anyone at home that's wondering, like, why isn't stuff happening? We talked to the team. They said they didn't need a pause. So,
yeah,
they want to take it.
Yeah. Looks like they're gonna play through.
If they want the 45, they want the 45. Okay, this is what it is.
Yeah. We're gonna see quickly Siena opt to not go through. What is this? Gupple!
Let's talk. So Gupple knows. Okay, they almost win that, but so Gupple knows there's one disconnected, so they just run to spawn to get the ult orb as fast as possible. That's okay. That's interesting. That's pretty funny. Yeah, but yeah. So we're going in here. They should be like out, so they won't be giving over free ult orbs. I think. I don't know how custom games work in Valorant. I haven't really played them, but hopefully that's the case, because if not, we're just gonna see, I guess, Gupple just int for ult orbs the entire time. I mean, it works out because they almost have the ult, but I mean, Siena now has gun advantage, not player advantage, but they definitely could just kind of walk down into A here, clear out short. What utility they need to clear out short? It's probably only Boombot. That's like the reality. That or drone. Like they don't have a lot of utility. Obviously, they didn't lose a utility-intensive member, but they didn't have much to start with.
Right, yeah, that's true. Which is a very odd place to be, right? Like, you know, we're practically, you know, playing CS:GO, right? when you take away like so much of this util,
Information util specifically, right? So.
Right. Exactly. We're gonna see Aldron committed now over towards Seaside, pushing up through the window. It will find one of the players. They know where Gupple is this time. He's not in spawn, but he's still trying to do a bit of damage. And speaking of damage, Loco takes quite a bit, going down to just 22. Pops ya, gets the collat and the spike down. Huge shot coming out. Loki gonna be able to take out Gupple and Invasive Karma on the Omen. Spike still just laying down on C Long. They've got to make a point to get it. Nice shot coming in from Loki once again, but Sniper Bam gonna strike back with one. Loco taking out Sniper Bam once again. Brody trying to get the spike, and look at that. They swing the corner. They find the kill. I think they have the spike. Yep, they're going back for it now.
As defenders, so.
Oh yeah, that's defenders as well. Yeah, they're just gonna let the time run out. That's gonna be a round for them, and all of a sudden it's 9-6. It's a game.
It's a game, and I think a lot of the time right here we're seeing how does your stuff change up when you're down a player, specifically your Jet. You don't have the crosshair, like you don't have like, so what the Jet really does, and why people might not like think about Jet as this really great agent in just raw, like when it first came out, Jet was not good. A lot of times because it wasn't quick enough off the util. Like the util didn't come out quick enough, or the gun didn't come out quick enough after the util. But now what happens is you cloudburst dash, that breaks the crosshair placement of the defender holding choke. So the defender then has to change the crosshair placement, then your people rush in, and the defenders are in a panic, and they have to deal with someone inside, to deal with people coming into sight. Like, it is just an absolute nightmare for anyone, and Jet's just super safe to do it. So that's why Jet's so good. And when you don't have that, it makes sight hits a little bit harder, but these teams have been kind of just playing aggressive DME style anyway, so I don't know if they needed the execute power.
Yeah, you know, you're absolutely right. They really might not have at this point. We're gonna see Loki throw out the Boombot, try and get a little bit of information. Invasive Karma now not gonna be able to push onto site due to that Brim Molly. Payne gonna be good for a kill to make it a 4v4, or honestly a 3v4 at this point, because it's just gonna be Jet once again left in spawn. Rody Rob gonna go for the knife kill. And with that, Quinnipiac has closed the gap. They're now just within 2. And this is a really bizarre way that this is playing out. Or let's just, you know, let's call out the elephant in the room, right? Without Jet playing on Siena College, I mean, they've thrown away a lead at this point, right? They've thrown away a lead, and for what?
And they're going to see something called Sway Lee, and I will be honest, I don't know what that is. I assume it's a musical, maybe, something of that kind of nature. Maybe it's a movie. I don't know. I won't pretend to know. But that is the reason I've been given. The team said they don't need a pause. The team is fine with it. Now they're facing the repercussions of it.
Right.
And I mean, that helps a lot, I would say, those 2 picks. And I think they definitely can still win this. It's not they're out of it. It's just once they adapt to what they're doing, and once they kind of get Quinnipiac getting a little bit overconfident, over-aggressive, it could just start to fall away for them, because this is still definitely winnable for them. They have the players to do it. They have the util still to do it, but it'll be a little bit more difficult, perhaps.
We're going to see Invasive Karma taking this high ground position right on C site, CT. Sniper Bam now trying to hold down these sidelines. Finds Rody Rob. Here comes the paranoia. There's going to be a TP out, but they're caught. They don't quite get around the corner like they needed to, and Loki catches them out.
Yeah, and I don't know what the I don't know what kind of game plan becomes for these teams when this happens. Like, I've never been in a situation in any game where I'm like, oh, we're a man down, what do we do? A lot of time when that happens, I'm just kind of, Well, most like I'm from Overwatch, where being a man down basically means you just lose. A Although there have been the funny moments where it's overtime and you're just like, I will just flux them off the cart and we'll have fun. But and we'll hope it works. That has happened a couple times, but you don't have that option here. You don't really have that option.
We're gonna see an aggressive showstopper come out. Nice play right there from Low-Key. They popped the Viper spit, but you know what? They knew exactly where Viper was going to be, right? There was only so much place they could have been in that smoke, and that showstopper with the AoE kills, that's gonna take him out. So beautiful play that I like. They're coming out from Low-Key on Siena. But they're going to be, it's going to be a 3v3 at this point. Couple gonna send out the Owl drone. Now it's a 2v2. Siena College in a little bit of a rough spot. Quinnipiac definitely coming back in this. We got the Shark Dart committed. Not going to find any damage. Couple goes for the swing. They're going to be taken out. Going to be another shot coming out. Defuse coming in. Quinnipiac once again narrowing that gap to 2.
Yes, and I want to see now hear from Siena where do they identify the weaknesses are for this team on defense?
Right.
Like, where is it? Is it C? Is it B? Is it A? I don't think you go B. I mean, I think B is kind of a trap. It's the easiest retakeable site, and I think you might lose too many members even getting in for the number advantage then afterwards to be worth it, right? Because even if you trade 1 for 1, you're now just down 2. And still on the most retakeable site, I don't think you ever want to be in a situation. A and C are your best bets. I think potentially C with the characters they have, because they don't have a lot of like maybe smokes to cut off a lot of the angles here. I mean,
wow,
that's some skeet shooting there from Cypherbam though.
I'll say I loved watching that right there. I mean the blast pack and jump coming in as well. The beautiful flick. I loved everything about that. We're gonna see OCU now throwing out on Molly, seeing if they can get somebody to peek, which they do, but it's going to be Chamber just TPing back to safety as well. Tango now able to find Popsia. Going to be a 4v, or actually a 3v3. I really shouldn't count the Jet on Siena College right now.
He really wants it all to ups.
He really does. He really does. But like honestly, that's a great idea, right? If you can secure that, it's a free Ultor, right? At this point, it's really what that kill is.
What is the timing of that?
Yeah, Spike is going to be planted now as well. We're going to see the defenders of Quinnipiac start to converge on C site. So we're going to get a peek onto where the Spike is as soon as they go through that smoke. Quinnipiac down a member right now. Pango able to win out the Chamber duel as well as just OCU. That's going to be Siena moving up 11-8. And you know what? If they win this, it's going to be by the narrowest of margins. But I have to be worried about what comes next for them. Oh, look at that.
That's
beautiful
so nice.
Shot. Beautiful shot.
That's so nice. And I'm now... How does Quinnipiac recover from something like this, right? Where you're down, like they're down a member and you're still not able to eke out rounds. I mean, obviously the players here for Siena are just hitting a lot of shots. They're like they're just aim diffing a lot of the time. Their strategy resolves around aim diffing a lot of the time. That's why their comp isn't set up heavy. That's why they don't have something like a Sky or a KO or something like that that's going to set you up. It is definitely going to, I mean, that's a really nice idea to get them out of the corner that you know they're set up on with the operator. They're going to have TP though. If that was any other agent, outside of Jet maybe, like they get him, but hey man, you just add characters with escapes. That's just what it is.
Quinnipiac gonna be even actually the kill feed now down a player. Siena College coming away with a couple of nice kills right there. Seaside though still up for contention. They need to clean it, and that's gonna help. Invasive Karma going down. Low-Key finds the kill. Now it's just Jet who is making their way through spawn to see if they can come away with a handful of kills and the defuse. This is going to be a tough thing for Popsia.
And now we've seen them kind of adapt to it, to the being down a member, what they have to do. A lot of it is just heavy aggro flanks from Low-Key, mostly. Heavy aggro flanking into spawn and just trying to secure it. I think the order of that is not correct, but the idea is right. I think you want to pop knives before you do all the dashing, because if you pop it after, you're going to be in the animation when it's coming out. If you pop before, you can dash, jump, and you're going to have them immediately, but that's a little bit of just semantic arguing right there. It's up 12-8 here for Siena College. The comeback was almost there for Quinnipiac, but they look almost but certainly locked out of it.
You know, I'm going to give you a little bit more credit, I think, and say that, you know, it's these micro plays and it's these micro decisions that sometimes separate the good teams from the greats and the winners from the losers, right? And right there, Popsia making that mistake could have actually caught them, because a lot of times it's just a split second that makes the difference. It's gonna be a big push onto B-side. Sniper Band though in to take the kill. We're gonna see Siena now instead opting to go through Garage here, but they're gonna be met by a couple. That's OCU and the spike down right there, and they pick it back up. They're trying to push through. Loco has it right now. They're going for the swing, taken out once again. Quinnipiac in a great position right here in this do or die situation to make sure that they don't go down a game.
Tango, though, has the flank off. 1v4 ace clutch. With only 25 HP and a bullet to do it with. Has tour de force. I don't think you pop it in this round.
No, I don't think you do. Oh, Roddy Rob gonna be good for the kill right there. Going now into spawn. That's gonna be a round for the defenders. They're within 3 worst. This is still very doable for Quinnipiac.
It is doable, but we've seen just these pop-off moments come out from the members of Siena College where it's like, that could happen any round. So consistently being able to shut that down, shut that out from Siena College is going to be difficult here for Quinnipiac. And yeah, there's still other matches they have to play today as well against other teams. But right now, this is kind of fighting off here, seeing who can kind of secure that 3rd place in a lot of ways. Because that's the expected result is that St. John's and Wichita State win out. But I mean, honestly, anything can happen. So even just getting a map here and then taking maps off the other team could secure yourself into a tiebreaker situation.
Yeah, it certainly could. And did you see that Brim Molly initially? Was that just thrown at spawn to see if they could get the pick onto the Jet? We're gonna see
I think so.
Yeah, we're gonna see Loki come out, swing on the side, pick up 2. That one went much better than their last attempt, but Brody Rock coming in big, able to clear out quite a bit of space. The plant is going to come in now, 2v2, but look at how little health Pango has. Yes, they've got the tour de force, but it's only gonna be good if you can keep it in your hands and keep your hands moving. We've got Popsia on the flank now as well. Taking out the chamber util. They're the last player standing. This is Siena College's chance to clinch this out. They absolutely should. Right, they just got the kill. Beautiful pick onto Loco. But can they get more? They have to get more. This is their do or die situation. A 1v1. We're going to see Jet dashing onto site through the smokes. They're going for the defuse. They're going to force the issue. Pango gonna come in. They're gonna get it down to half. They get it down to half. They're going back in for the defuse. Quinnipiac, they do live to fight another day.
Yeah, it was just like from Siena. I mean, like, they should have known they were behind. They, 1, could have heard classic shots from behind. 2, knew the rendezvous went down, so it was broken from somewhere. Where was the other rendezvous placed? It was placed in a spawn, so bouncy long. So we should have known exactly where they were. This is just that is just crazy that Loco makes that mistake right there. I mean, but it was a whole kind of other thing. Also, just allowing the Viper to walk in and find 2. Like, there's just a bunch of mistakes in that round when Loki did such a good job of securing picks on that site. Like, you just had Loki literally walk in and kill like 3 people. So, yeah, I mean, it was just so much work done by Loki, but the rest of the team just kind of faltered in the end. And that could allow them back into this game. If this goes OT, that's a dangerous place for Siena.
Yeah, it really, really is. That could be devastating to their chances to come away with a win here. We're gonna see Loki now pushing through window, going over, deciding whether or not they want to try and reassess where they want to push. We got a nice sight line down A short as well. Spike starting to move over towards A2, but Viper gonna commit their ult onto A site. That's definitely gonna, at least be cause for pause, as we do see the spike now starting to rotate towards C.
Yeah, A seems off limits. I said earlier, don't go to B, so where does that leave? The only logical solution is going to be a C push. Paranoia is going to delay it, but they don't have any immediate impact off of it. Look at the Sova, though, on the flank here from Gupple. Loki's obviously going to walk in, but can you stop the Sova? No! The attempt there, it could have evened it up. It could have made it a 2v3, but instead you're kind of locked out of sight now. You have to deal with Loki on a lot of HP and has the showstopper. OCU. Going to be taking this early fight with the Viper. This is critical. Try and win out this round.
That's going to go the way of OCU. It's going to be a showstopper now on point. They're just waiting. That's all they need to do. They wait, they throw it out, they get a little bit of damage. That's going to be Siena College with one player remaining, coming away with the win.
Look at that showstopper hit and not do like any damage to that jet. Oh my god, that's crazy. That's 8 ult orbs right there. That's crazy. But yeah, that's always what I talk about. I feel like Raze is being punished. Her ultimate's being punished for how good her base kit is. It's always crazy to me. But we are going to see the 13-10 come in there for Siena College. And I said this earlier, but I didn't say this earlier, but off stream we had Wichita State University take out St. John's University off stream 13-8. So Wichita State, I believe, is just out. Like, they are just out of the group first place no matter what. They beat out St. John's 2-0. They've won other games well. Like, they have another game later today as well against, I want to say Quinnipiac, but it might be Siena. I'm a little crazy. It's against Siena. Yeah, so once those maps come in, they're like guaranteed out first. So St. John's is kind of playing to not fall down to third is kind of how it is now. But I mean, all in all, for this match, very well played to both Siena and Quinnipiac, considering everything that went on. I mean, Quinnipiac having to adapt to the aggressive playstyle and trying to do a good job of it, but like kind of faltering in a couple situations.
Yeah, and I love getting a chance to look back at this shock dart. I mean, that was
great. I love that.
Yeah, you know what? And to me, that was one of my favorite plays of this match. That was like literally, I think, the first thing that happened in this game. So, you know, a great way to start it off right there. And boy, Siena College, you're maybe feeling a little overconfident right there, trying to just take this on a 4v5. They squeak through, but I gotta wonder what's coming up next. But we're gonna be taking a break before we see exactly what that's going to be, Worst Casts.